Alright, let's see. There's our tractor sitting there waiting for us. And I think that I was running out of building materials, yeah, especially concrete. So we better get headed back for that. Good view of the arch from here. And yeah, we'll see. I feel like I could be structuring this whole Caterium pickup depot a little better. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Let's get back to base real quick. There we go. I feel like there was a time in the past where these tractors had a lot less oomph to them, where they would have trouble going up a slope like that. Hard to say. Maybe I just never used them that much previously. And I think there's a turnoff coming up here to my base. Alright, I'll just park this over here. Alright, and let's see, is there anything I want to leave behind here? Oh, I do have a lot of Caterium ore. But if anything, maybe I should be emptying that out of this chest so that I can leave it back over there where it actually gets processed. And yes, definitely need to drop off all wood and leaves. Yeah, how are we looking here? Oof, not great. Okay. Well, definitely a good thing we've got some new material going in. I've been leaving this alone for a long time. Okay. Well, yeah, concrete is the main reason I'm back, so I better get that before I forget about it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a bit more. That's probably plenty. And I'm probably going to be running low on iron plates and rods and maybe wire. I think I'm fine on wire. But plates and rods. Definitely. So let's go grab some of those. See, I don't know that I fully explained last time what all my thinking was. I feel like I'm being pulled in several different directions, though, at this point in the game. So, normally, in previous playthroughs, I think I'd be rushing coal power at this point. I'd be trying to get that up as soon as possible, because it is such an improvement over biomass. But I don't feel as strongly about that as I used to, because in the 1.0 release, biomass burners have a conveyor input, which means that I'm not limited explicitly by how much fuel these can hold, because yeah, it used to be these all had to be hand-fed. So every single biomass burner could hold a maximum of 200 fuel, and that was your timer, like on how much time you had to be away from base. And you could set up production lines to automate the production of that solid biofuel. But the burners themselves, you know, you would have to come back and refuel them, you know, before that 200 biomass they could hold would run out. But that's just not the case anymore. Since they have that conveyor input, you can drop off your biomass, your wood and leaves for processing, and have functionally a much, much larger reserve to go in there. That is a purple slug, is it not? No, that's a Mercer sphere. My mistake. I feel like there must be. Yes. Took a bit of a hit there, but no big deal. Let's get this thing.
This bleeding temple forms a resonance zone. Play for us. The voiceless effigy creates bodies in air waves, but does not notice the shore. Is our melody not beautiful?
Detecting abnormal brainwave activity again. Activating artificial brainwave resonator.
Your shallow song has no rhythm. The river erodes our temples without prayers and washes away our scripture without deepening. Consume.
I believe this is one of those moments where the scientist would yell, "Eureka!" But that seems entirely too dramatic. It seems they are somehow organically emulating human speech. Fascinating. Continue exposing yourself to alien artifacts.
Okay, then. So yeah, I wonder if Ada is the effigy that the voice is referring to there. I feel like there have been a couple of potential hints at that. I mean, or I could be the effigy, but I feel like when Ada was talking about the Sommers loop, when I first unlocked that, she was mentioning, like, some more details on how it could potentially be used, and the voice said something about, like, blocking the effigy's harvest until the waves reach the shores, or something to that effect. Gosh, I hope I'm heading the correct direction. Not quite. Okay. I don't know, it seems like the voices mention this effigy a lot, and seem to feel that they're, like, failing to communicate with it, or at least to communicate with it in any meaningful way. So I do wonder if it's talking about Ada, and I feel like there have been other sort of hints that, like, I don't know, Ada talks about Fix-It as though it's some big, you know, backing organization, but I almost wonder if that isn't real anymore. Like, if it's basically just this Ada AI that's running, you know, the husk of this company. Maybe I'll dig up the clip. At some point there was a mention of, like, potentially dispatching, you know, a new pioneer to take your place as, like, some kind of threat, but instead of giving, like, a proposed date for that, Ada just kind of glitched out and didn't really have anything further to say. You know, like there was no data available on when somebody else would be available.
If necessary, a replacement pioneer will be dispatched. Work must continue. Replacement delivery schedule estimate. Error, years.
So I don't know, it leads me to, just gonna talk while fighting this hog. it leads me to wonder if Fix-It doesn't really exist anymore, and functionally it's just Ada and like however many pioneers she still has control over. I don't know. Okay. Well, enough of that. Time to start building stuff again. Oh my god, I didn't bring modular frames. I didn't do it. Okay, this is a case in which I think it's worthwhile to drop down a crafting bench and just build them on site. And heck, that may be all I need. So I was thinking about it a little more, and maybe it would be beneficial instead of, I had been planning to come over here and, like, build a second depot over here where the truck would come and pick up fuel from that coal node, but I can at least belt the coal over to here and use one depot and belt the Caterium over from there and, do pickup and refueling off the same depot. It's been a long time since I used these truck depots, but I believe that they have a separate refueling input. So I don't think there's any reason, or certainly any requirement to use two depots. I don't need a separate one for refueling and for pickup of ore or ingots in this case. Yeah, I don't need anything else extra there. I feel like I started off saying that I would try to build, physically plausible structures, but it's a little hard to make myself take the time to do that. Let me at least put in some supports under here to make myself feel a bit better. And I still need to open that. I think it requires copper sheets, if I recall. Which I don't have yet, but I certainly could be making them. I'm just not in a huge rush for another hard drive. Maybe I should be, but nah. Let's see. Where exactly do I want this depot to go? This truck station, as it is actually called. Okay, so let's just put you... Wonder if I can... Well, yeah, I'll just add another line of foundations off the back here. And then put you in with plenty of space. So locking that with H, just to try to get it a bit more evenly lined up. Check the back spacing. I think that's enough to get just about everything in terms of belts. So yeah, this thing has 3 inputs, one of which is for fuel for the truck. So any vehicle that stops there will pick up from that and deposit it into the fuel for the vehicle. And then everything else going into these sections will go into the cargo of the vehicle, which is really nice. It's a, I am glad that they thought of such things when setting these up. But yeah, so I would need to pipe coal to here, and then Caterium ingots there.
Fix-It reminds you to drive vehicles accurately through a truck station's dock area while recording a path. This ensures it will connect properly once everything is automated. The truck station can be set to load or unload, and can also refuel vehicles. Unlike some pioneers, truck stations care about saving humanity.
Brutal. As always. 8. So let's look at... Oh gosh, did I bring materials to build a miner? Yes. Yes. I do have enough for another miner. Okay, let me make sure to delete this. Won't be using all that anymore. And now... Oh gosh, yeah. The other aspect of this is power, of course. That's something I've been neglecting to think about. I think that for now, all I'll do is plop down a biomass burner, probably just somewhere over here, and just fill it up with fuel manually and leave it for a while, which is certainly not ideal, but that should be enough to at least get Caterium going for a bit. Yeah, I feel a little bad about this setup, but can always come back and fix it later. Let me double check power budget. So we have 2 miners, one for Caterium, one for coal. So that's 10 megawatts. 3 smelters, so that's another 12 megawatts, so 22 total. And I could convert Caterium into quickwire, because functionally, I think that I am only using Caterium for quickwire at this point. That might be like basically all it can be used for. Used in quickwire, fused quickwire. So yeah. Sorry, let me just put in some tiny ramps here, just so that the truck is less likely to get awkwardly stuck when going up that ledge. And these rocks are in the way, of course, but you know, what you gonna do? So I could convert it to quickwire. So from a pure node, because I believe that is a pure Caterium node, I'm going to give an output of 120 ore per minute with no overclock. So then these turn that into ingots at a rate of 15 per minute per 45. And so that's going to be 40 Caterium ingots per minute. So then a constructor, let's just plop you down wherever so I can look at the recipe. A constructor takes in 12. Of course, none of this quite works out. So that's like 4 constructors. In order to consume 40 ingots per minute. And that's a little over, but it's at least 3. So 3 times 4 is 12. So yeah, I can't get away with 1 biomass burner for that. So let's just turn it into ingots and then transport the ingots. Unless... So... Oh yeah, so another good reason to transport the ingots instead of the wire is that making quickwire causes functionally an expansion of the resource, as in like you're going from 1 input resource to 5 output resource. So to me, it feels like you might as well transport the more dense version of that resource. So I might as well transport the ingots, because each load that the tractor takes will sort of functionally contain more value in it. Like, it still has to be processed, but hopefully you get what I'm saying there. Because, yeah, like, you know, if I was transporting quickwire, every 5 quickwire that fits into the truck could be replaced with 1 ingot, and you get more density of resources moving per round trip of the vehicle. I don't know that that's really going to matter. It's all really a matter of throughput. So long as the tractor can make its rounds and deliver resources fast enough that your throughput exceeds however much you were going to belt out of the other end, then it doesn't really matter. But, you know, we have better chances of hitting higher throughput of resource with transporting ingots. At least that's my thinking. Let's just pull you over here. Let's not try to be too fancy about it. And hopefully not hit that with the tractor when I go through here later. Oh, no, I did not want the conveyor pull. Oh yeah, output is 40 per minute from there, so I should be good with a Mark 1 belt. And let's hook you up just straight to there. Nothing too fancy. Oh, well, on second thought, I will have to get moderately fancy, because that was going to block the fuel input here. I doubt I could have cleanly gotten a belt into there. So I can at least pull you up like this. That looks a little funny. I think I'd feel better about it if I pulled you up back here so that you have a support. And then in. Again, just looks a little more physically plausible to me. I don't care too much about that, but as I start to getting into designing more long-term factories, long-term setups that are going to stick around for a long period of time, I'm going to try to get better about that, because it doesn't really matter to me in the short term, but when I start, having stuff sitting on the map for a long time that I'm going to be looking at for a long time, I prefer it to look just a little better. All right. And yeah, we're not going to bother placing foundations out here, so... this is a pure node. Granted, 1 tractor is not going to consume the full output volume of a pure node. At least I cannot fathom that. So it doesn't really matter, but I still feel like I should upgrade these to Mark II belts instead. Just because I don't want to forget that this thing is a pure node and, one day pull off of this conveyor line and have it be permanently limited on resources while I have forgotten that I did that. Okay, let's awkwardly run over this way and then back again. And, rotating you the wrong way. And pipe you up over here. Yeah, I don't really like pulling you through all kinds of bushes and junk, but that's how it's gotta go. And let's put you like about here. And back here. Alright. And now we'll switch to straight mode now that we're on foundations. And put you in there. Cool. And yeah, I do realize that I'm, putting just about the same length of belt as I was putting unsupported over here. But for some reason, it being closer to the ground doesn't bother me as much, even though that doesn't make any physical sense. But, you know, what you gonna do? Basically just aligning this to my arbitrary aesthetic tastes. Alright, let's pull power out to that miner. This isn't looking bad. Okay, so my theoretical max draw, that is higher than oh, I didn't account for the truck station. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm gonna need 2 biomass burners. That's not the end of the world. Let's just line those up. And pull another connection off of here. And then hook up you to both of these. And I wish I could set the power network to sort of be, the moment I put fuel in here, the whole network's going to crash. I kind of wish I could avoid that, but it also doesn't matter, so. Oh, okay, well, I thought, the network hasn't crashed because the smelters are not running yet. Both miners should be running. Yeah, so consumption, 10.4 megawatts. So I think each miner consumes 4, so 8 megawatts from the miners. And then there's probably a little bit of overage from the truck station, even though it's not running. Okay, but yeah, we should be good to go in terms of power. Yeah, our max consumption is at least below 60 megawatts. And all of these are yellow instead of red, so yeah, everything should be good. Should be getting some Caterium going out. We are getting stop-starting there. Oh, but that's because this is functionally a manifold. This one is getting an even share of ore for now, but it doesn't need an even share. So only once it fills. Oh, which, by the way, I can help with. Let's fill that. Fill that. Do a quick inventory sort and fill that. Okay. So now this should have a slight backup. Yep, that's good. And we should have these things hitting exactly the proper rates. Sure looks like it. Just about the moment they hit 100 on ore is when the ore count sets back down again by 3. Cool. And yeah, that should just kind of hit 55 forever, which is a little funny. Let me just drop my own ingots into the output. Oh yeah, gonna stop them for a second because I filled up the output, but that's fine. Okay. Looking good. Got a little bit of breathing room in my inventory. So yeah, now I think is the time to route the path for that tractor. And yeah, it's got 100 coal sitting there ready to fill up the tractor. And I think what I'm going to try to do is pull out the fuel from this Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how I'll get that to work. It's got a little bit of... Basically, it already consumed one piece of fuel in order to give it power. So I can, like, move it a little bit just by shoving in one piece of fuel at a time. Maybe this is insane. I might be insane. But what I'm trying to do is make sure it fills with only coal over... Oh, why am I making this so hard? I can just put coal in. I think I even have some. Yeah, there. Now it's full of coal. So the reason why I was concerned about that was I imagine that if you have solid biofuel in the tractor, and then you go to one of the truck stations, that the station will try to fill it with coal, but coal can't stack with solid biofuel, so it would not fill the tank, and then the truck might run out of fuel somewhere. But none of that matters if I just put coal in from the start. So, there, solved. Solved a problem that existed only in my own head. Alright, let's go ahead and start routing this thing. How does that work again? So I need to open the record menu with Q. Oh no. Is that going to be something that I don't have bound on this controller? Probably. Probably so. This might be something I just hit the keyboard for. That's fine. Okay. Enable autopilot. Save and something. Maybe that's access routes. Hide path nodes, delete path. Okay, well, let's start recording. And let's go. And let's get this thing up over here. And then F. Same as dismantle mode. So we have loaded the tractor. And now I want to drive it back. And I don't know if the path automatically ends when I hit that recording flag, so I'm just going to go try to avoid it. And we're going to try to drive this back to base to form a complete path for this thing. Oh my gosh. Okay. Excuse me while I abandon this path recording and delete it, never to be seen again, because I'm just realizing now that I don't have a destination. I have not built a truck station at my base, so there's nothing to deliver to, and that is a problem. So what I'm going to do here is delete this awesome sink temporarily. I'm not really feeding anything into it automatically at the moment, so I don't really think it needs to be sitting there, and it requires a lot of power, actually. Oh man. Okay, we're about to have a serious biomass situation as well, so excuse me while I go try to take care of that in a panic. Okay. Well, I feel like I was just talking about how, dealing with the biomass burners isn't even bad now that they have conveyor inputs, and how I wasn't in a rush to get coal at all. But, you know, that does demonstrate that biomass still sucks a bit. Oof. Yeah, okay. I think the only reason we haven't had a blackout yet is because my factory isn't running at full productivity. Some of these things have backed up, filled up, you know, like I'll bet wire production is basically non-functional. The entire copper side is down because I just haven't been needing that much wire and cable. So that's probably the only reason why stuff is still up. But hopefully we'll actually start getting some of our biomass burners online back here. What is your total output rate? 60 per minute. Okay, so there's no reason to bother having faster belts here. One thing I could consider is making 2 of these constructors, taking biomass and making solid biofuel, and merging them onto a Mark II belt that feeds into here. But really, I think what I need to do is just be more diligent about actually gathering biomass while I'm out there. Just gonna fill those up so that they start running in advance of the fuel necessarily populating all the way down to them, because that's gonna take a hot bit. Okay, alright, well, hopefully catastrophe averted, just barely. We're still getting rotor production. Alright, let's go start thinking about that truck stop. So maybe I'll just put it down right around here. That lizard doggo eyeing me suspiciously. So let's just zoom together a quick platform for this. We will go out 3, and then put some ramps off the end for the truck to interact with. Maybe off this side as well. So we have some more options in terms of approaching. I don't think I've ever lost... well, maybe this will be the first time. I was gonna say, I don't think I've ever lost a foundation in the ground with no ability to deconstruct it, but, oh, I can get it, just barely. Okay. It wouldn't be a huge deal if that happened, but, it would bug me. It would. Alright, so let's try to build. I keep thinking that it's going to be under logistics, but it's under transport. Need more modular frames. Just a sec. Alright. Let's plop this thing down somewhere like that. And in this case, I don't think we're going to have a fuel input. It will get all of its input from the side with the coal node. And we'll just count on that. But at least I can route Caterium up and think about making some quickwire. So let's make a little storage spot for... How much storage is built into the truck depot itself? A fair amount, so I probably don't need to buffer. That's where we set unload, and that's definitely what we want. Okay. Well, I kind of want to see what the input rate is. Well, maybe I shouldn't bother. I know I'm making 40 per minute ingots on the far side. So that's what I'll construct for over here in terms of producing quickwire. Because ultimately that's what it's going to be limited by. The output of that node is what we're ultimately pulling from, so it doesn't really matter what the throughput is of the trucks. You can think of them like another belt, just over a much longer distance and via a different looking mechanism. So I want to say that we decided that this would take 4 constructors. What's the most aesthetically pleasing way I can accomplish this? Maybe I can do like, yeah, space is getting a little tight over here. Who would have thought? It can really get away from you sometimes. Okay, let's just try putting you somewhere like that, and then aligning you with this, but leaving a gap. And what I'm sort of considering is punching a Caterium ingot line through the middle here, and just having another set of constructors further down, and just trying to sort of like pipe their outputs around each other. Also, this storage container will of course be moving, or maybe that'll be the target for quickwire once I get all of these ingots out of here. Like now. Yep, done. So let's now try to line this up like this, and we'll see how the belting works out. It might be too much of a mess, but worth a shot. Okay, well, I'm gonna be straight with you. It's a bit hideous. I felt like it showed some promise for some moments there, but once I realized that I was encroaching on this biomass setup, I just kind of gave up and accepted that it was going to be a bit jank. It is functional, though. At least these don't impede my ability to walk through here and access biomass burners or anything. So, this is what we're going with for now. I don't really have anything else to say about it. One thing I should check is output rate. Okay. Oh yeah, I didn't mention. I decided to underclock each of these just slightly so that I would exactly consume 40 per minute across 4 constructors. And I got to this by knowing that I wanted this to be consuming 10 per minute. So I did 10 divided by 12 to get like the ratio like of production that I wanted, and then I multiplied that by 60 to get 50, and then I set 50 as the target production rate. And instead of typing in 83.33333, oftentimes when the division doesn't work out like that, it's a lot easier to say, well, here's the number that I want, here's the actual like per minute production rate that I'm looking for. All right. So I think that is looking good. I didn't even calculate the power, but I'm assuming this all has to be under the 30 megawatts that. Oh, that consumes 20. Okay. This might be pretty tight, actually. It had not occurred to me. I always forget the truck depot. So my max consumption is 203. My capacity is 240. Oof. So I've got an overhead of like 36 megawatts. Oh my gosh, that is like exactly what will be consumed. Technically, that's a little more than will be consumed because these are underclocked, but not by much. So yeah, because 20 plus 4 times 4, 16, so 36 megawatts. And that's about what my power grid can sustain, so wow, lucked out there. Let's see if I can... Oh yeah, of course, like every convenient power pull is going to be full. Okay, no, I can pull from you. From there, and then it should just be pulling power from the truck depot to the truck depot, and finally hooking up a conveyor line for all of this. Oh, one thing I haven't been thinking of is the output rate here. So I do have 50 per constructor. Oof, that's going to outpace my current level of belts just entirely, isn't it? Yup. Okay, well, I might as well do Mark II belts anywhere that I have a merger. But I'm not going to get full productivity out of this thing. Not with the belts that I have. That's fine though. I can always upgrade the belts, and better to design the whole setup to try to operate efficiently, rather than assuming the optimal case, rather than leave it with a design that assumes that I can't consume the source node. Hope that makes sense. I have fallen. Okay. Alright, let's just pop you up here and pull you back to here-ish. and pull you from this output. Okay, straight mode is not liking that too much, so let's take you to where? Like around here? Let's just use default for that. There we go. Good enough. And yeah, that should be 40 per minute, at least in aggregate throughput. So I think we'll be good with just Mark 1. Everything should be hooked up to power. Well, let's dump all the Caterium ore I'm carrying into this truck station. And it should start outputting. Yep, there it goes. Alright, well, let me do a quick biomass check, since I'm paranoid about that now. And now, let's get that tractor route actually plotted, so we can get this whole thing functional. Ooh, do I have fuel to pop in at the other end? I should grab some. Alright. We've still got 88 coal, so that's good. And you're carrying a load of Caterium, so I can have you drop off. Okay. So let's go ahead and hit Q. And start recording. And unload cargo. And I'll just wait until that unloading bar completes. I don't know if that's necessary, to be honest. You might get away with just hitting the unload button and then driving on, but trying to be careful and make sure the path is functional. And then let's see if I can find my way back cleanly. I haven't driven this too many times. Alright, load me up. Okay, approaching the finish line. There. Okay, so that path was recorded. So how does this work? If I hit save, enter a name for your path. Okay, so Caterium route. Sure. Saved and selected path has... I didn't read that fast enough. So if I hit this, okay, then I can select. Oh, cool, and it shows you on the map. Awesome. Okay, so cancel and hide path nodes, because I don't want to see that all the time. Maybe it doesn't matter if I'm out of the vehicle, but yeah, you know, I'll just turn them off just in case. And enable autopilot and hop out. Okay. Are you trying to get to the start of the path? What's the, whoa, okay. It's figuring it out. Alright, dropping off Caterium, and it should start to move here in just a bit. Hopefully. There it goes. Alright. So yeah, driving over that way, and heading off to do our delivery runs. Beautiful. Alright. Well, we'll just assume that that's going to work out. Yeah, it is worth mentioning that what you just saw there, that like where the tractor turned blue and teleported ahead, that's sort of the fallback strategy that vehicles will take if they're having pathing issues. So you never actually have to worry about your deliveries not making it. So long as you've set up a path that involves the vehicle, you know, making it to its delivery target, your vehicle is gonna make it there eventually. And I think while you aren't watching vehicles, they aren't physicalized even, so they basically just follow their path perfectly. You know, at the rate at which you drove the path initially, and you don't really have to worry about them getting stuck while you aren't looking at them. And if they do get stuck, again, they'll just teleport out of it. So they really are a pretty reliable means of transporting materials. Once you've set them up, they'll just keep on doing their thing. And so long as you keep supplying them with fuel, there shouldn't be any danger of them failing to complete their routes. I'm watching here for this thing to fall off the bridge and into the chasm, just to make me look like a fool, but no, it seems to be going fine. Alright. Cool. Cool. I feel like I never really used vehicular transport previously. I kind of just ignored it, and then tried to get into some of the later forms of transportation, but it got a little complicated, and I just never really fully continued on from there. So I'm excited to actually experiment with vehicular transport, as well as some other things later in the game. So yeah, I didn't necessarily need to automate quickwire, and maybe coal would be a more productive thing to be working on. But I wanted to. So there we go. Alright, let me take a look back at the MAM here. I know, for instance, I have a hard drive that I should be scanning. And besides that, let's put away this Mercer Sphere I gathered, these berries, these nuts. I think I have enough medical inhalers on me. And these remains, power slug. Okay. Looking good. And yeah, once I build up another stock of alien remains is probably when I'd want to reset up an awesome sink and deposit some DNA capsules, unlock some more things. But I don't really have many at all right now. And also, it is worth mentioning that I'm not really using the awesome sink in big air quotes properly at this point in the game. As in, the sort of intended use is to set it up as a way to consume like excess production from your factories, so that if you're producing more than you need of something, you just feed it into an awesome sink and get some extra benefit from that production. But at this point, I just don't really have the power to spare to be bothering with that. So I'm just leaving it alone. again, yes, I should probably start looking at doing coal. It's just that I'd really, really prefer to do coal with blueprints. I just don't know that that's going to be feasible. Well, I might as well complete this basic steel production milestone. I should have plenty of rotors at this point. Yeah, good. 150, no problem.
Milestone reached. Coal and iron can be combined in the foundry to start steel production. Project part number 2, the versatile framework, can only be created via automation, not at a crafting bench. Delivering these to the space elevator is essential if we are going to complete phase 2 of project assembly and save the day. Fix It and humanity is relying on you.
I do always love watching that thing take off. Though, now that I've realized that it just sits there, hanging in the sky, I don't think I can ever unsee it, to be honest. Not a big deal, certainly, but I do hope that they maybe consider just like somehow getting it to go behind the model of the top of the space elevator there. I feel like that's all it would really take to make it seem more plausible. But yeah, I'm sorry if pointing that out ruined the effect for anyone. I just happened to notice while playing. All right. I think there is some MAM research I want to complete related to quickwire. That's part of the reason I wanted to get this automated. Oh, of course I'm researching a hard drive now, though. AI limiters, copper sheets. Okay. Smart splitter is something that can change the way you design factories and make using the awesome sync a lot more straightforward and useful. But it's going to be a hot bit before... Well, I mean, realistically, I can make AI limiters. I'm assuming they just take copper sheets and quickwire, because that's what it costs to research them. So maybe those are closer than I am assuming. Okay, and then I did unlock steel production. Do I set a bad example and just handcraft enough steel to unlock blueprints? I think I might. I think I might be that guy. Again, this is probably not necessary or even, really the best idea. But I really, really would like to have blueprints available to design my coal power plant. And if I can, just brute force it by, walking away while I handcraft for a bit. I think I'm gonna do that. Okay, let's get a sense of materials. So 4 per steel beam. Oof, okay, that's actually pretty bad. And then steel ingots take 3 of each. Iron and coal. So that's a 12 total multiplier, because it's times 4 and then times 3. So in terms of stacks of resources, I need 200 times 12. So like 2,400 resources. Do I have any steel beams sitting around? I have 78, so that takes away some of that, but not nearly a lot. Okay. Don't know that I can even, like, get that much iron since I have all the ratios correct here. None of it is building up in the system. Well, that's not true. I mean, some stuff got backed up, but... Oof. Okay. Maybe this is too ridiculous to bother with. Well, I'll do some thinking and be right back. That's going to be the end of today's episode. Thank you all for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one.